When it comes to magicians, the names don't get much bigger than Penn and Teller. This dynamic duo have amazed audiences around the world for 40 years with their unique style of illusion and comedy. This past week, they took a break from headlining in Vegas to return to the Broadway stage for the first time in nearly 25 years with a new show, Penn and Teller on Broadway. Penn, Gillette, and Teller, good morning, and thank you for being here.
How you doing?
Wonderful.
Good.
I know I'm just going to ask you all the questions this morning.
Ask me all the questions. You can ask him, but I'll still answer. Ask anyone you want, I'll answer.
So it's been a while since you've been back in the
Yeah, we haven't been here. We did 2 runs on Broadway in the late 80s and early 90s, and then we went off to Vegas. And when you've got a theater that they've named after you, and they've painted your picture on the side of the hotel 300 feet tall, it's very hard to convince them to give you time off. It took us 15 years to convince them to give us 6 weeks to be able to do Broadway. We've been trying to come back for all that time.
You are now the longest running headliners in the history of Vegas,
yes,
is that right?
We are. We've been playing there 14 years at the same theater all the time.
So what brings you back to Broadway?
We just love playing Broadway. So also we've been working together 40 years, and we wanted to do a show that's kind of the definitive Penn and Teller show. We in Vegas we tend to do the newer stuff, but this show is the first show we've pulled stuff from all 40 years and put it all together. And we're also doing stuff we swore we'd never bring out of Vegas because it's too big and too hard to travel. But we've broken that promise to ourselves, and we're doing big stuff and little stuff on Broadway. I'm really happy with this show.
You mentioned that 40-year time period together.
It's a long time.
It is a long time.
And when it's Teller, it seems more like 70.
He just won't stop talking, right?
Such a drag.
When you first started, I read that the advertisements weren't even magic. That's not how they build the two of you.
You know, at the time we were doing first hit off-Broadway, magic meant, you know, a greasy guy in a tux with a lot of birds torturing women in front of Mylar to bad rip-off Motown music. And we wanted people to think we were something
There's a lot in that
different.
sentence. I loved it.
And it's all accurate.
I'm still catching up everything.
But we wanted people to think that magic could actually not be done condescending and hatefully to the audience. I mean, Jerry Seinfeld once said all magic was, here's a quarter, now it's gone, you're a jerk, now it's back, you're an idiot, show's over. And we wanted people to know that the studying of how we ascertain truth is really fascinating. And the built-in irony of seeing something that looks one way but knowing it's really another. The magicians that say, you know, just let your mind go away and come this little dream with us, there's no interest in that. The intellectual content is in knowing it's a trick and knowing you're being tricked. That's where the fun comes.
I look at some of the current magicians around, the big ones like Chris Angel,
he's
and,
like
and David Blaine.
He's like this tall. And David Blaine's a little taller, but not big magicians. I'm a big magician. I'm 6'7".
And much smaller now. Also,
I'm smaller this year,
but
strangely, I didn't lose any height.
But when I look at those magicians, I feel like one of the things they want you to believe is sort of they're magical.
And that's so insulting. It's the 21st century. We have microchips. There's no real magic. There's no voodoo, you know? And the idea that a guy who just a week ago was doing card tricks is now able to do real miracles seems a little silly. I mean, it might be fun if you're a child, but for an adult, we know it's tricks, and let's have some fun with that.
Well, speaking of magic tricks, how did you lose all the weight?
Oh, that was eating mostly plants, whole plants, taking a walk now and again.
What precipitated you to do this?
I had wicked bad hypertension, high blood pressure. It was not vanity. I was very happy with being a fat guy, but for health, I really had to eat better.
100 pounds?
A little over 100 pounds.
A little over 100 pounds. How have you guys stayed together for 40 years?
I think part of the reason is not falling in love, not being friends, not having that affection. You know, Lennon and McCartney fell in love. And we just wanted to do a show together, so we are very much business partners and don't socialize very much. Also, the fact that you know, never a sip of alcohol, no drugs, never late for meetings, all that stuff that's rather pedestrian and rather boring, we both do right.
You looked at it as a business union.
Yeah, we do better stuff together than we do separately, so we're stuck together and we're happy with it.
Can we see something good?
We asked you. We want to tell you what a classy staff you have here. We asked them to get us a deck of cards, and they didn't even bother getting us a box. They just laid out a deck of cards. It's a
low-budget operation.
So I don't even know what kind of what operation you're running here. But they shuffled them up, I guess, and took out the jokers. We asked for that. But this is a trick that I don't know how Teller does it. 40 years. years. I don't know how he does it. Just cut off a bunch of cards, not too many, but like maybe a quarter of a deck or so. Put them right in my hand here. Now, see, Teller can just look at that, just like that, get a glance of that, and he can tell just by looking at that there are 19 cards in that stack. How can he know that? How can he know that just by looking at it? Count them. I think there's 19 cards. I messed them up there. But
no, it's okay.
You can pick them up there and just count those cards. Are there 19 there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
How did he know that? But the most amazing thing is he also, you want to tell her? He also knows.
The 10 of hearts is on top of the other pile.
Yeah, try. What did he say to you?
So he told me that the 10 of hearts is on top
I
of
don't know how. I don't think he could possibly know that, but sometimes he gets lucky. Yeah, he got lucky there. There's the 10 of hearts right there. And you can keep these cards, although your staff did not give them a box. So I don't know.
Am I allowed to ask how you did it? No.
Yes,
right?
you can ask all you want.
Okay, so
and I
how'd you do
will
it?
deliberately mislead you. But you can go through these cards and figure it out. We'll leave those there for you. Woo! Happy New Year.
The show runs through August 16th on Broadway.
Penn and Teller, thank you both so much. You can catch Penn and Teller on Broadway at New York's Marquis Theater now through August 16th.